Hello everyone, it's time for a two-week? Yeah, I don't do editing on this channel. 2 week update after my gastric band. Firstly, if this food being here triggers you, it's there for a reason. I use it as like a coping mechanism. I can go, I used to quite enjoy those once upon a time when I was morbidly obese. So I can look at it now and go, I used to enjoy those. I've got absolutely no interest in eating any of this Mexican food anytime soon. I might eat the insides. The meat looks pretty good. But yeah, I put this here not to talk with you, not to annoy you. It's a great way of just blocking out those negative thoughts about food. This is how silly this is, right? When I quit smoking, I kept a packet of cigarettes on my desk where I usually would leave them with like my lighter. And it would just be there. It would just be there, and you'd think it would be taunting me, but it was like reverse psychology. I could just see it there. I moved on to vaping, and I've moved down the levels of nicotine to the point where I'm on like the lowest one now. And eventually I'll give this up, although I quite enjoy the taste of pineapple. By the way, my surgeon said there's no evidence of anything negative happening after a gastric sleeve operation when it comes to vaping. Smoking, yes, that's just generally bad for you. But vaping, no. He said there's no conclusive data. So he said as far as he's concerned, vape away. And I remember the day after my surgery was the first time I vaped. Because, yeah, I was like, okay. And I didn't feel anything. Everything's grand. Anyway, 2 week post-op. So the first day, as I mentioned in a previous video, I could only eat I could barely deal with a teaspoon. I had 2 teaspoons my first meal. It was a lot. That makes sense. The stomach's very swollen. Later that day, I finished my food off. I had like 3 spoonfuls, I think. At that point, I didn't have any protein shakes or anything like Weetabix, which is a cereal in the UK that when you pour some milk on the top, it becomes very sloshy and it becomes very pureed. Or you can put warm milk in it, put it in the microwave. So I experienced. Yeah, I went through a stage of about 3 days because, firstly, I'm an idiot. I didn't read the documentation properly from my dietitian. And secondly, I was waiting for delivery on some certain protein stuff. But I found myself incredibly drained. To the point where like muscles were hurting that I didn't expect to hurt, or I was very light on my feet, very lightheaded, which I thought that isn't good. That's surely not normal. I'm taking all my medications at that point. It was mainly paracetamol, ibuprofen, the injection into your stomach for blood clotting, the anti-acid medication. And then I just picked up the documentation one day and went, oh, I'm an idiot. I'm not eating anywhere near as enough as I should do. So I increased the portion sizes. I had a little tub. Do you know the little... You've all been to hospital if you've watched this and you've had a gastric sleeve. You know the little tub? It's a little plastic one. It's probably about... I can't visualize it. It's about that tall, that wide... It's what they put pills in. You might have seen it in the films. One of those little tiny ones, or it's a cough syrup like mixture. I was putting food into that and eating that, which wasn't the size I was meant to be eating. One upside, although it's taken me a while to just plug the gap with the amount of food and nutrients I've been missing. One upside was I lost a shitload of weight. Post surgery, in like the first week, I lost about, I think it was around a stone or a little bit more than a stone, which was kind of crazy. Now that things have normalized from like week 1 to week 2, I've probably lost about 4 pounds, which is fine, but it was basically very unhealthy what I was doing, and it was basically a mistake on my part, and secondly, me ordering protein shakes too late. I ordered protein shakes on the day that I left the hospital because I was advised to have protein shakes, and I ordered it from Amazon, and it took there was an issue getting it here. I live in an apartment complex. We've got a front door guy downstairs. For whatever reason, he wasn't at his desk to sign for it. And these fuel drinks, I couldn't find them anywhere, any supermarkets. So I basically then waited till like the Monday, the week after, or the Tuesday, maybe the Tuesday. But there was like a good 3 or 4 days where I wasn't getting enough in. So my God, my recommendation to you if you're from the UK is buy Weetabix, because that's a great source of protein for your first meal of the day. I have that every morning at the moment. Within like half an hour of waking up, I'll go and have my Weetabix. I don't really enjoy it, but I know it's good for me. So, and right now I can't switch things up. I have to basically stick with Weetabix. I get to around, so let's just say the Weetabix is like 10 a.m. because I work from home. I start around 10. I'll get to my desk with the Weetabix ready, and I'll eat it at my desk. And then around 12:30, 1 o'clock, I'll go away and have a ramekin bowl of some pureed food. I've got beef stew I've pureed. Chicken curry with cauliflower, also pureed. Cheese and beans was another recommendation. That tastes amazing, pureed. Oh my God. Oh, they're all amazing, but the cheese and beans. Oh, I can't remember the fourth one. Chicken and something. Can't remember. Might be cottage pie actually. My mum helped me with a few of my recipes. But yeah, I'll basically stop at 12:30 to 1. I've already got everything already in tubs that I will pour into a ramekin bowl, and it's like half a ramekin of pureed food. I will get through that in about 10 minutes. I take it nice and slow on purpose. Even though it's clear liquids, you can actually just go wild. I spoke to the surgeon about this because it is just liquid going through the body. There's no solids. You can eat and drink at the same time, which I'm currently enjoying, and I'm gonna have to get used to not being able to do that in the next month or so when I change up to a more solid diet. But I'm like preparing myself when it comes to eating, and I take it slow. I'll put the puree in my mouth. I'll run it across the roof of my mouth with my tongue until you can't literally feel anything, and then you just swallow. So just getting used to eating slower. Over the last few days, I've also introduced not drinking 30 minutes after a meal, even though I don't have to. Like I can just drink when I want. Just to start mentally preparing myself for that, and like over the next few days, I'll have to start doing it before a meal too. I believe. But yeah, so 12:30 I'll eat. Around 3 to 4 o'clock, I've been told I need to have a snack of some kind. That's when I'll start this in the morning. I'll carry it through till about 5-6 p.m. Loads and loads of protein in this. What is there? There's 20 grams of protein in this. And I haven't got my glasses. 18 grams of carbs. Brilliant. That plugs that gap. So instead of me having a snack, which they recommend at the moment, is some yogurt, flavourless yogurt. I tried it. I tried Dairy triangles as well, and that stuff I almost threw up just because I hate that taste of that. And I don't mind like flavoured yogurts, but natural yogurt. Oh Christ, I can't bring myself to do it. It's just disgusting. So I'll have the protein shake throughout the day. It'll get to about 6, 6:30. I will make my second meal, warm it up. It takes about 10 seconds in the microwave because it's such a small portion of pureed food. And again, I'll normally have this. I'm filming this at 9:12 in the evening. There's not a lot left in here. I'll just finish this off as the day goes on. That way, I'm just with the Weetabix and this protein shake alone, I'm getting like 35 grams of protein in. Which is fantastic. Then I have meals that I've been told to make because they're high in protein. So I'm getting my intake in now, and I wasn't originally. So I'll take a bit of this while I think about the next thing to talk about. The strawberry flavour is so good. You can get them on Amazon, by the way. 8 for £10. Something that's weird after 2 weeks of having my gastric sleeve, I haven't ordered any food shopping. You know, if meals need to be prepared, I'll go to a local grocery store and get the ingredients, like the mince from a butcher or just from a supermarket. But I haven't delivered anything in. Before, I would order in food about every 3 or 4 days. Uh, the company I used to use for the home shopping, they must be like, is he dead or something? Like, why has he stopped? He's been ordering with us for like 10 years. Why has he stopped? But yeah, when I get onto solids, I'll be able to start ordering food again, real food. So on that note, now I've got hiccups from my protein shake. So let's talk about something that I've been doing. When I mentioned before that I see food like this, and I look at it and I go, that looks great, but it's terrible for me, so I'm not going to eat it. What I have done, though, in the last few days over Christmas, mainly due to boredom because there's no work, I was so soon out of surgery, I didn't want to really interact with people. So I spent Christmas at home. I felt, the first week or so, I still felt a bit fragile. And for those that know, I had the surgery just before Christmas. So I timed it perfectly so I could basically completely recover over Christmas and the New Year's. So I'm back at work in 6 days, by which time I'll be 3 weeks post-op. I won't have a problem. I'll have no problem meeting people at that point. So what did I do? I went and did a load of research on two things, because I'm a social person normally. I enjoy doing my weekly or bi-weekly pub quiz, where I don't necessarily drink, but I'll go out and we'll take part in a pub quiz and try and win. I have won one out of about 200 in the last couple of years. So I'd like to win another one. But they are quite social occasions. So what would typically happen is I'd meet my friends at like 6 p.m. as soon as work's finished. We'll have a drink or two in a bar. We'll have something to eat. And then we'll move on to the main bar, the main pub, and do the pub quiz. And we'll probably get fairly drunk at that point. That typically happened once a week, where it was full on, make a night of it, as it were. I'd like to start doing that again. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be drinking that much. I'm not going to be eating that much. But what I have, so as a result, I've gone like, when I am ready, when my body is ready, I would like to take that 1 day a week as like a treat day. And by 1 day, I mean one evening. I would quite like to go to a restaurant with my friends and order a starter that will be delivered at the same time as their mains, and enjoy potentially an alcoholic drink at some point. I'm not a mad alcoholic. My units per week, if I was being interrogated by the police or they're doing some sort of breathalyzer, is like 4 units. It's maybe 4 pints a week in a social setting. And that could be just meeting up with friends to watch a football game and having like 2 beers. And then that's me done for that day. I don't drink at home. So I've looked at the culinary options available to me. Like, will I be able to have an Indian takeaway again? Or will I be able to eat at an Indian restaurant? I probably won't do a takeaway. It would be such a waste. Although it would be about 2 weeks worth of food. I have to do a lot more research and talk to my dietitian. But like, can I go to what options are there for me at restaurants? And amazingly, there's actually quite a few options if you play it smart. I'm going to wait to talk to a dietitian. I don't want to give you false advice, because it was just from me reading articles online from potentially unreliable sources. But there should almost be no reason why I can't go out to a restaurant with my friends and order something. As long as it's not like a greasy cafe that only does the worst types of food you can possibly imagine. If we go to a normal pub, I would love to have like a chicken Caesar salad, or a tiny piece of steak with some veg, So that was a great weight off my mind. Not that I was worried I'd never be able to eat out again, but I can potentially enjoy some of the food that I had previously. Obviously, in moderation, because I'm going to be taking a lot of care of myself. But if the guys say, we're going out tonight, let's go to an Indian restaurant, I can specifically ask, like I can have a chicken korma because it's essentially coconut with spices added in with chicken. Not interested in the rice. This is according to online forums. I don't know how true any of this is. But I was just like, yes. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. And then I started looking into alcohol because even though all the videos you see online tell you, avoid alcohol for the rest of your life, it's never going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm getting to that age now where family members are dropping off. I'm going to be going to wakes. I'm going to get married at some point. My sister's getting married. I'm the best man. There's reasons to celebrate in my life. I'm going to be having an alcoholic beverage at some point. So that needs to be looked into. All I've said to myself is do not touch any of it for at least the first 6 months. Because this is well said by a lot of people, a lot of well-known doctors online and bariatric surgeons. The first 6 months is what's critical and what's crucial. That's when you're going to lose the vast amount of your weight, and that's where the body is learning to deal with this new stomach. Additionally, it's the liver's working overtime at the moment to burn all the fat away. It wouldn't be good to stall because you went out and had a drink and almost had to reset the body and go, I've had a sudden intake of something that's really bad or not ideal. So yeah, I've seen quite a few people who've said they won't have a drink again. Fair play to you. I'm not a huge drinker, but I would quite like to nurse on even like a straight vodka. Just one. No, actually, that sounds disgusting. There's several cocktails that aren't bubbly, don't have any nasty stuff in, and they aren't going to cause any sort of complications if you have like one. And with someone like me, I can see myself nursing one cocktail for like the entire night, which is fine, because I'll be getting as drunk as everyone else on one drink, and they'll have 5, so it's even cheaper. Happy days. So yeah, I've been looking forward to that. Normally, I don't think I'd have sat there and looked into that, but just through boredom at Christmas and being alone, yeah, most nights I'll go to bed with my laptop, and I'll just watch 20 minutes of videos, anything to do about the gastric sleeve. And what I will say, the amount of conflicting information is truly mind-boggling. Honestly, it's a minefield. But yeah, I have a meeting. I think it's in a week. Let me just check my calendar. 1 week today, I have a meeting with my dietitian to discuss whether I move off of soft food. I find off pureed food, I find it very easy to consume and not a problem. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fantastic. And hopefully they'll let me move on to just traditional soft food and hopefully onto solids fairly quickly, because I've got on top of this very easily and have no issues whatsoever. However, today I did have a curry with cauliflower that was pureed. It was very thick. It was the thickest pureed one I'd made. And as I'd eaten it, I felt a bit different. I'm like, oh, what's that? And it feels like a mix between heartburn and acid reflux. Like I felt if I burped on purpose, I would probably throw up in my mouth. So there's lesson learned. This is all about learning. I won't be eating that one again. Just too thick, I think. I couldn't get it any thinner. But yeah, what I will say for those wondering like how much exercise I've done, don't mind me. I'm watching soccer / football on 2 different screens at the moment, over here and over here. Exercise wise, that first week was a mess because I didn't eat properly. I found it difficult to even stand up. So, but the last like 4 or 5 days, I've done a minimum of 15 minutes a day. Yesterday I did about half an hour, 30 minutes, and I went for it. I went like I briskly walked as quickly as I could, essentially, and I really felt it. My calves killed today, to the point where it hurts to walk. So I'm not going to be going out tomorrow. I pushed myself too hard yesterday. I'm not going to go out today. It's just not going to happen. Hopefully tomorrow my legs feel better and I'll go out. But yeah, those first few days I was just doing maybe 5 minutes, even though I was very lightheaded. I just walk around my apartment a few times. I have a pretty large, like, 1-bedroom apartment. So yeah. Right, I won't bore you with many updates, but I will leave you with this. No, I won't bore you with updates moving forward. I'll do a 1 month, a 3, a 6, a 12, and then leave it at that, right? Unless people want to do a Q&A if they've got questions. Feel free to leave questions down there, how things feel, etc. And I'll answer. But, oh shit, my train of thought. I haven't got any notes anywhere. This is very unprofessional. What was I going to say? I started talking about the Q&As and stuff down there. I guess we can leave it at that. I'll probably remember the nanosecond I hit pause on this video. But yeah, all in all, I'll leave on this. Incision pain went away after about 7 days. Another thing that I did that was really dumb, that you really need to keep an eye out of and read the instructions, because I didn't. I've actually got one here. I don't have to actually. Oh shit! I've dropped it on the floor. Uh-oh. This needle I have to take. This is a used one that was on my desk that I need to put in like the bin. When I started these, I was told just put them in the stomach. Like the nurse said, just concentrate putting it down there. So she pointed to like my right side. The first week or so, I was just doing 2 injections a day on my right side. And suddenly I woke up one day. I wasn't in pain necessarily. I felt some discomfort down there. And I saw, you know what a black eye looks like, right? Just black all around the eye. There was just a blob that was just black. And let me have a quick check. It's still there. Yeah, it looks like bruising. It hasn't gone away yet. I was always doing it in the same area. The documentation makes it very clear to move it around. So now instead of doing the bottom left, or sorry, my bottom right, bottom left on the screen, I'm doing more central above the belly button, or center right. It recommends also to do it on the thighs and the arm. I'm not pretending I'm a druggie and putting it in my arm. Never doing that. The stomach's fine. There's a lot of fat there, which means there's no pain. There's very mild, incredibly mild incision pain when you put it in, but there's no pain. So I'm looking forward to them ending on Saturday, because that will be my anniversary, 2-week anniversary of my discharge. And I'm looking forward to not wearing the TEDs anymore, the deep vein thrombosis stocks, which I think are 2 weeks. I'll need to check the documentation. And I've already made plans for this time next week to go to one of those pub quizzes. I will quite happily sit there as my friends eat. I will bring a little bottle of cordial with me, and I'll request water from the pubs, put in some cordial, and I'm happy. And I can take part in my pub quiz and I can have fun. And I'll be the only sober one there, so I can maybe perform better than I normally do. Anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in if you've got this far. Next update will be in 2 weeks' time. Finally, very important. 25 stone and 2 pounds was my pre-op. I was about 23 stone 6 when I was at the hospital, and I'm now 22 stone. So 1 stone, 6 pounds down since I got home. 3 stone, 2 pounds down since I started the pre-op. So I'm now exactly 22 stone. I weigh myself about just before doing this video. So hopefully when I check it with you next, that'll be down to nearer 21 stone. So happy days. All right, much love, take care, and have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you tuning in. Nice one.